Hello folks, how's it going? So welcome to my review of One Piece chapter 1015, titled Chained, and after the end of this chapter it was kind of obvious where this is going to go. Before I get into this chapter, I want to make a few mentions of the recent visuals that we got in the opening of Wano in the anime. It showcases some of the players that's going to be involved in the raid on Higoshima. Now I was under the assumption that we would probably get a brand new opening by that point, or maybe we will. Still a long ways ahead of us, so we'll have to wait and see. But for now, we've got some visuals of members of the Toby Robo that we're going to be seeing very shortly, and also an interesting visual of Yamato, which you could consider that a spoiler, but considering what we've gotten with this opening already, I'm not too shocked about that. So it's interesting though that we get players that are going to have a huge role in this raiding on Higoshima, and most Toby Robo are going to be going up against the Straw Hat. But obviously, we knew Luffy was going to be rescued by somebody. We just didn't know who. So I'm glad that got resolved. We got a bunch of setup also. Let's go over the cover page with we got Senor Pink. That was kind of interesting, being carried by a stork, being mistaken for a baby. So that was kind of light-hearted fun. But boy, do things get dark in this chapter. Just for Oda to give us a reminder that Luffy's still in the ocean and he's still pretty much KO'd. And because of this, a lot of the Straw Hats were kind of like, morale kind of went down, because we see Chopper immediately be affected by this, because number one, you see Queen with this mechanical neck coming in and just munch on. It looked like on Chopper's neck, but it could be his shoulder as well. But Chopper's tearing up. Was like, what? You're actually thinking about Luffy could have been defeated, and you got the rest of the subordinates that are also with Chopper hearing this, like, what are we supposed to do now? Totally losing their morale, and that's why Kaido did this. Is because if you remember back when he KO'd Luffy off screen, when Luffy was flying off on Higoshima, he did say, like, I wish I could have taken your head as proof, because the others, they won't believe it and they won't start fighting, they won't give up unless they see it. But I like how things shifted into gear here, because whilst it's going on, also Perospero and Queen aim to attack Chopper again to finish him off. And again, I want to emphasize on this because I think people get the misconception. Even if you think it was Brief and Queen was like holding back, which he confirmed like he did, because he's like, how disappointing, you were all fired up earlier, so I thought I'd play along. Just keep in mind, like, he was keeping not only Queen at bay, but also Perospero at bay while in Monster Point. And for what we found out, like, it was for 20 minutes, because when we got cut to Chopper again in the previous chapter, he says, I only have 10 minutes left. And we know Caesar ended up giving him a drug that extended his giganticism in Monster Point. So it wasn't a power boost, it was just point even longer. So the fact that he was able to hold his own, whether you consider Queen was holding back or not, is still very impressive. So got to give credit when credit's due to Chopper. Even Sanji give props to Chopper in this chapter. In comes Sanji, epic entrance for Sanji, because he comes in with the Diablo Jumper. The shading on that panel was epic as hell. It kind of reminded me of what he did with Doflamingo when he was on the Sunny, and then out of nowhere comes Sanji with Diablo Jumper. But he did it here with Queen, the shading, and carrying Zoro. So the Sanji fans are going to be eating good tonight. I'm saying that right now. So it's about time we got to see Sanji in action and actually get a decent fight. So we knew this was coming. Sanji versus Queen. And then the way he just attacked Queen with his Diablo Jumper, just spinning his head around like a neck because of his long neck. That was epic. And then also deflecting Perospero's arrows and knocking him back. So like I said, that was a good epic moment for Sanji. Hopefully he keeps that up. And I love how number one, Sanji was giving props to Chopper, but at the same time, Chopper's like, oh, Sanji, Luffy's son is, don't cry, you idiot. We've seen this happen countless times, remember. all those miracles. And because of what happened by the end of this chapter, it's even more apparent now that Luffy's going to make reappearance, and he's going to be just as motivated, if not filling with guilt, because of what happens in this chapter with Kaido and Kinemon. It's like, leave the dino to me, and then Queen is like, oh, it's Judge's brat. So there we go. So he has a connect. We know he has some affiliation with Judge. So this is the perfect Queen versus Sanji begin. It took us a long time to get here, but we're here now. Zoro has to get patched up with Chopper because it's convenient that Zoro's there as well. I do like how Sanji's kind of putting him down with that, because it's like it's a complete callback to what happened in Zou. Sanji's like, I'll leave this lug to you, Chopper. If he recovers, he'll be worth 10 men. And then you completely hear Zoro saying, oh, more like 2,000, because it's a reference to Zou, because of when Luffy said, if we get Sanji back, it'll be like having 1,000 men on our side. And Zoro said, well, if he's 1,000, I'm worth 2,000. And Nami's like, yeah, we get it. So I love that callback. So Chopper's looks like he's going to be the one to patch up Zoro, which is good because we see King in this chapter, so we know where Zoro's going. So, and I like how they got some of the members of the rebels saying, "Oh, how can he keep going? His captain just died," and then Marco's like, "Yep, that's why I like him." So they still have faith in him, and it's convenient. We go to the castle interior first floor, and it's become a wreck because Kaido's just completely gone on a rampage here. So we see the bodies of Okiku and Kanjuro. I'm still not certain about Okiku. Kanjuro looks dead, and now according to this chapter, Kinemon is implied that Kinemon is also dead because Kinemon's already down. You see his other blade shattered. We knew this was going to end up bad. So Kinemon just got wrecked. Kinemon's just stalling at this point because you see a sword stabbing in Kaido's leg. That does absolutely nothing. And we got some flashback panels to where Momonosuke is being addressed by Kinemon as to call him father to keep the facade, just to make sure that nobody knows you're related to Odin. We get some cool little panels there. It adds up to the moment of where, and Kaido's like, what's the point in buying time? And what's the point in trying to run? And Kaido just brings out his own little sword, and then while Shinobu is carrying Momonosuke away, it's like boom, it just stabs him. It looks like in the stomach. So in the words of Kaido, it's not easy, but sometimes you have to accept defeat, embrace your death like a true samurai. And then we got also the frog that Shinobu was talking about. It's like now we know what that was. It was like Momonosuke was like going to use that to convey his own message to everybody else. I have to tell them, just like let everybody know this is Kozuki Momonosuke. Luffy is still alive. He told me he would definitely make it back. So panels of the Straw Hats and key members of the Alliance, of the rebels, and the fights that's taking place on Momonosuke's behalf. We see a quick shot of Yamato, and we know where she ends up by the end of this chapter. But so please keep fighting, even if it hurts you. Even if you have nothing left, I implore you to keep fighting to your last breath. You see a panel of Luffy in the water, in the ocean, and he's still conveying a message. So it's like, Momo, let everybody know I'm still going to beat Kaido. Because he's going to win. You see Kaido's already caught up to Momonosuke. And Shinobu does something to, like, I guess, get away from Kaido. Then Kaido looks confused, but while this is going on, you also have Law's crew, the Heart Pirates and the Sub, actually approached Luffy. Now, I completely forgot that Law's crew was still in the ocean there, so I can't let that slip my mind. But I knew somebody was going to come up to save Luffy, I just didn't know who. And I also thought it could be possible that he could get washed up ashore, given we saw an island by the end of the last chapter. But he still could end up on a certain island with the Heart Pirates. So it's going to be interesting to see what role they play now. Other members of the Straw Hats, like, don't give up. And you got Kid also, which is also a pirate, because since he's taking on Big Mom right now. And then Thomas Crane, because like Big Bro's alive, let's run straight to the Usopp and Nami are heading to the stage. And then out of nowhere, the climatic pole of Nami is actually speaking. It's like, oh, it's good to hear Straw Hat's okay. And then we cut to like the climb attack being a homie now. So that has to be because we saw Nami use that climb attack to try and prevent Zeus from getting pursued by Hela. That has to be Zeus turned into a homie inside of the climb attack now. So if that's the case, that's going to be interesting. Law appears out of nowhere, finally, and he's like, oh, we've been collaborating for a while, but honestly, when it comes to him, I've learned to say never. And kid's like, oh, Trafalgar Law, did you come to get in my way? And then Law's like, settle down, Eustace, yeah. As if he was referring to Straw Hat, yeah, Mugiwara, yeah. Don't you think we should play nice for now? So I called it. They totally gonna team up against Big Mom. Again, I kind of would have liked to see this earlier, considering what we have with Ulti and Nami. But I don't know what's gonna happen with her. She could get back up. I hope she does, just because it gives Nami something to do. Especially if you're gonna highlight the fact that Climb Attack on Nami is now a homie. It has to be for a reason. So hopefully that's where that goes. To end the chapter, we have Kaido. Keep in mind, Shinobu and Momonosuke, I guess, avoided Kaido. Now, out of nowhere in comes Yamato yelling Kaido, and then Kaido's like, "Don't you mean father, Yamato?" And then Yamato, that bond has chained me for too long. I'm here to free myself. Does that mean she's gonna fight Kaido? But at the very least, this confrontation could lead us into a Kaido flashback that we've been all wondering about, or the connection between Yamato and Kaido, and what really led to Yamato being locked up. It can't be just like Yamato wants to be like Odin. That can't be it, because if that was the case, then Kaido would have gone out of his way to try and locate Yamato. So it's going to be very interesting to see where this leads. Like I said, this was a very good chapter of setup and actually great moments. Like for instance, Sanji getting an incredible moment. It's been long overdue. He's finally going to get a tough 1v1. We would hope. And then Chopper could, after he's patched up Zoro, deal with Perospero. But obviously, he got Nekomamushi in town on his way to fight Perospero. I also think, I think it's poetic justice if Carrot is the one to fight Perospero alongside Nekomamushi. For all intents and purposes, we could get Yamato versus Kaido, which I've been saying for the past few chapters. Like, if that happens, with Luffy there or not, and whatever happens to Yamato, that could bring up some huge character development. And if there's ever a chance for her to be an ally or even a Nakama of the Straw Hats, this would be the fight to do it. Like, to earn her place in Luffy's good graces. Like, Luffy already trusts Yamato, but this could really put some respect from Luffy into Yamato. If Yamato goes down swinging against Kaido, and then that's where Luffy's like, okay, yeah, this is going to push Luffy over the edge. So this could be great. This was a great move by Oda. At this moment, we could assume that Kinemon is dead, which could also imply that Tsuru is also dead, because Kinemon's like, I want to survive. I'll reunite with Tsuru once everything's been taken care of. But it looks like, as if right now, if you take away Kondoro, because he's no longer a scabbard, Kinemon is the first scabbard that it appears has been killed off by Kaido. So I'm wondering what's going to be the case with Okiku. We don't really. Okiku could also follow suit. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, this was all in all, I thought it was a great chapter. Great way of setting up certain things that we thought could happen. It are now happening. This also could imply that we're close to like maybe the end of Wano Act 3 sooner than I thought we were, because I don't see this lasting too much longer. We could cut to where Kaido and Yamato are either about to clash or about to talk to one another, and then it cuts to like the end of Wano Act 3 and go to whatever's taking place in the rest of the world, because we still have that to figure out yet with Boa Hancock, Vivi, and Sabo. We had that mentioned last year. Obviously it was delayed, but this Shanks is making his move this year, so that has to imply something. So maybe Wano Act 4, similar to how Wano Act 3 started with the beginning of the Kazuki Oden flashback, maybe that's going to start with the Kaido flashback. Now, I don't think that's going to be nowhere near as long as the Odin flashback, but we still needed a kind of flashback at some point to flush out his character even more, and Yamato's. So yeah, that was great. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. That's gonna do it today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like the review if you did, hit that thumbs up. I appreciate that. Subscribe channel for more One Piece. Catch you guys later. Thanks, guys. Bye.